Want to check that this is working again. I'm going to have to do this every time because, as I said last time, I am using a new bit of software, but just in case it's not working, let me just check. I just want to check that we're streaming everywhere live. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're streaming everywhere at the moment. So hello and welcome to Small Screen Stories. This is the daily show where I go over all the news in the world of entertainment and pop culture. I am Edward Lauder. I'm the editor of Small Screen, and let's just get straight into it. There's been a lot of news today, but probably the biggest thing to happen today, which again seems to be the biggest thing to be happening kind of this week, really. It kind of started last week and is bleeding into this week. And that's that it's been revealed that Johnny Depp is still going to get paid for Fantastic Beasts 3. So this was actually revealed via The Hollywood Reporter they spoke about this at length, actually, in their article. And they revealed that because of his contract, he still is going to be paid for the movie, despite only having filmed one scene for it and having basically been fired. So if you haven't been following this story, well, where have you been? It's been the biggest story in the world of pop culture, entertainment, kind of law as well, to be quite frank with you, for a while now. And the Hollywood Reporter wrote this article in which they kind of detailed why he's still getting it. Still getting the money, and it's a six-figure salary as well. A lot of people have said it's probably 10 million he's going to end up walking away with. And this is the article on Small Screen, and this is just the quote I took from the Hollywood Reporter. So it says, like many A-list stars, Depp has had a so-called pay or play contract, which requires that he be fully compensated whether or not the project is made, and even if it is recast. As is common with stars of his level, there was no morality clause in his contract, even though it was amended with each new installment. The studio will be on the hook for the star's full salary, even though he had shot one scene since production began on September 20th in London. So that's huge to me, because I personally see that as quite a big win for Johnny Depp. I mean, it kind of explains why he agreed to go kind of without a fight, really. To me, it explains, first off, if I were Johnny Depp, and this, I mean, I'm not, but if I were and I was in this situation, of course I'd say yes. Of course I'd agree to leave. First off, the Fantastic Beasts franchise is in decline. We're just going to have to make that perfectly clear to everyone. It is in decline. The second movie was a mess. It was all over the place. You know, I don't want to go into specifics about what's happening with J.K. Rowling at the moment, but even though I'm a big fan of hers, she said some stuff on Twitter and people are not happy with her. Apparently, she's still got full reign, full control over this project. She is the screenwriter. She writes the scripts to these movies. She's the producer. This is very much her project. But when you watch the movies, they really don't make much sense. The narrative is all over the place. The best part of Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald was Grindelwald himself, so was Johnny Depp. So there's a lot to me that what is a Fantastic Beasts 3 going to be without Johnny Depp? I really don't know. As I said before, there are rumors that Colin Farrell could come back as Grindelwald. He played the character, or a version of the character, in the first film. He's a very good actor, but he doesn't have a very clean record either. And I don't want to go into that either, but if they want someone squeaky clean, it's going to be difficult. If they want someone of Johnny Depp's caliber, and also I was thinking this is going to it could add up to like 20 million to the, probably even more, to the film's overall budget, which is huge. That's like that's a very well-funded indie movie. So, I mean, to Warner Brothers, it's probably not that big a deal. But apparently, the decision to have Johnny Depp leave the role actually came from the very top, from Toby Emmerich, which to me is quite surprising, because he was one of the. I mean, they stuck with him for Crimes of Grindelwald. And now that the libel case that Johnny Depp, the whole thing he did with The Sun, now that the ruling for that has come out, and he of course lost that case, it seems as though this was the excuse they were waiting for to get rid of him. It's there's been a lot of, I'm going to go into this in a bit, but there's been a lot of support for Johnny Depp online. There have been petitions all over the place coming out. Change.org now seems to be just the home of petitions for getting Johnny Depp to come back for roles. There's a petition at the moment demanding that Johnny Depp return as Jack Sparrow, and that's reaching, when I wrote the article, was reaching 250,000 signatures. It's probably reached that by now. There's another one to bring Johnny Depp back as Grindelwald, and that's nearing 100,000 signatures. There was a bunch of them involving Amber Heard, which was asking for Amber Heard to be removed from Aquaman 2, and that, I think, reached 850,000 signatures. So it's a lot. It's a lot of people out there that are very, very supportive of Johnny Depp. He's got a lot of, I believe he's got about 7 million followers on Instagram. I'm not sure about that. I'd have to look that up. But he's got a lot of followers. So of course they're going to be upset. That's a big, as far as Warner Brothers is concerned, I really think they're the losers here, because they're not only having to pay him, but they're going to have to pay whoever they cast in the role. So it is financially, I understand why they made the decision, because it's a PR decision at the end of the day. In the end of he's someone that he's lost a libel case. It now basically the general public now believes that he is what the Sun said he is, or he was, which may or may not be true. Again, this is still, this is still an ongoing case. He's still got defamation cases going on in the United States that are still ongoing. There have been reports that there are some kind of, people have been questioning the judge himself, with supposed links, ties to Amber Heard. Now, I'm not going to go into that here because I haven't really had the time to research that myself. And also, it's problematic. I suppose the case, that particular case is over. But I'm pretty sure if that were the case, if there really were strong connections between the judge and Amber Heard's, then Johnny Depp's legal team would have done something about it. He's got a very expensive legal team. I'm sure they're pretty good. Even though they lost the case, I'm pretty sure they're very good. They would have spotted that, I'm sure. So that's why I'm a bit iffy on those reports. I'm not so sure about the validity of those reports. But again, there's a lot of stuff happening in this case. It's very intriguing to watch it just as an outsider. It's intriguing to write about. It's intriguing to comment on. But again, as I said before, to begin all of this, it seems as though, as far as Fantastic Beasts 3 is concerned, Johnny Depp's the winner, and Warner Brothers is very much the loser. At least that's how I see it, because he's walking away with 10 million. Hopefully that will be able to pay for his legal fees for his future cases that he's got going on. But it's, what do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments below. Right, so moving away from that and moving on to what is the big exclusive of the week, I believe, on small screen, and that's that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man will be in Doctor Strange 2. So this actually might have been leaked before by Google. I did talk about that recently, how if you type in Doctor Strange 2 onto Google, I believe only via the Google Chrome app, you then can look at the cast list. Actually, I want to check if this is still the case. You can look at the cast list, and on the cast list it does state Ryan Reynolds, Tom Hiddleston, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire all in this film. Again, that might be an algorithm problem, but which I did state in the article that could be the issue there. But as far as they're still all there. They haven't changed this. It's still there. Oh, sorry, that was Tom Hiddleston. It's still all there. You can see all of them are all. Sorry, I'll get rid of that. They're all there. You can see Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Ryan Reynolds, Tom Hiddleston, Rachel McAdams as well in there, and Elizabeth Olsen, and also Tilda Swinton at the end. Is she going to be returning in this movie as the Ancient One? Possibly. As I stated before, this particular thing on Google, I just wanted to bring it up because I thought it was quite funny. Secondly, it could very well just be an algorithm thing. So there have been reports that all of these people are going to be in this movie. Therefore, the algorithm just might pop them in there that could very well be the case. But if, to be honest, I'm surprised that Marvel hasn't contacted Google about this directly. I'm pretty sure someone at Marvel can do that. They're a very big company, owned by Disney, and have brought this up, because it's not good, really. I mean, the for them it's not good. It might very well be a leak, and as far as my sources are concerned, at least two of those names in that cast list are definitely going to be in this movie, and that's Tobey Maguire and Ryan Reynolds. And Tobey Maguire, there's been a lot of conversation online about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield being in Spider-Man 3. I have said time and time again that as far as my sources are aware, and as far as I'm aware, that's not happening. They are not in Spider-Man 3, but they did sign a deal to be in future MCU movies. They're just working out some of the logistics around that, and apparently a lot of it's got to do with scheduling. But and that's in particular with Andrew Garfield, because he's just signed on to star in a new TV show, which will take up a lot of time. But as far as Tobey Maguire is concerned, my sources have told me that he will be in Doctor Strange 2, which is called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And here again, I'll bring back up the article. According to, this is what my sources told me, Tobey Maguire is going to be in Doctor Strange 2. He's going to be playing his version of Spider-Man. He and Sam Raimi are really excited to be working together. So, of course, they worked together on the original Spider-Man films, on Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Then a second source, completely separate from the first source, said, yes, Toby, this is after I will, full disclosure, I did reach out to these people that I know. They said, yes, Toby's going to be in the project. It'll be his Raimi version of Spidey, and he'll be introduced through the multiverse. It might just be a brief cameo, though. So as far as the script's concerned, they are going to be in it. That's another thing that I was told by... Sorry, when I say they, I mean Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool and Tobey Maguire's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. No, I haven't heard anything about Andrew Garfield yet. That's something I am waiting on. But no, and it's going to be involving the multiverse. And again, this comes after it was there's the plot synopsis for Doctor Strange 2 has been released, or leaked even. And in that plot synopsis, so this is another story that went up today. I'm linking all of them together. It's synergy. In that plot synopsis, it kind of suggested that Doctor Strange himself unleashes the multiverse onto the MCU. So this comes from a tweet by Cosmic_Marvel, and this is I'll just bring up the plot synopsis right here. After the events of Avengers Endgame, Doctor Strange continues his research. Sorry, that just came up. Continues his research on the Time Stone, but an old friend turned enemy puts an end to his plans and causes Strange to unleash unspeakable evil. So, as far as I'm aware, that old friend turned enemy is going to be Baron Mordo, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, and I have been asking around about the unspeakable evil part. I'm not sure what that is, but it will involve the multiverse. So he will be going into the multiverse to try and continue his research on the Time Stone. And a lot of it does have to do with the Time Stone. So this movie could very well be a kind of, let's say, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like a side to the MCU, so it will open up the MCU to the multiverse. But it could also very well, with the Time Stone being involved, it could also be very, very easily erased from the MCU, the continuity of the MCU in its entirety. That could happen. So that means that this movie could end up just not counting, if that makes any sense, because we know for a fact that with the Time Stone, Doctor Strange can alter time. But if he's going to be playing around with the multiverse, then it means that this movie will open up the MCU to all the other like Earths out there within the Marvel universe. So that means there's a possibility of the X-Men coming into it. We already know that Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is going to be involved. The original Spider-Man films, possibly even the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. So it's a lot, and there's a lot that this movie has to deal with. And again, as far as I'm aware, this might be one of the reasons why Scott Derrickson left the project. Because Scott Derrickson, as far as I'm aware, again, I've asked my sources about this, but Scott Derrickson's original film was actually that he wrote the script for, that they are using parts of in this script, but they have altered it quite a lot. It was very much a horror movie and not really a film that kind of connected other parts of these Marvel movies together. Once Disney's acquisition of Fox was completed, Kevin Feige really wanted this film to be something more. That he didn't really want to rely so much on the horror aspect of it. There will be still horror. It will be kind of horror inflicted, let's say, but it won't be a horror movie. There will be scenes within the multiverse that will be quite scary. It will have that kind of Sam Raimi twist to it as well, which is why they wanted someone that was very much seeped in horror, someone that came from that world. But no, as far as Scott Derrickson was concerned, he wanted it to kind of be a bit smaller in scale than what they're making it out to be now, and more just of a straight horror film, whereas Kevin Feige really wanted this to expand the Marvel Cinematic Universe and actually kind of get things moving in that direction. So hopefully that there are also rumors, again, that these are rumors, that this film might also lead into a possible Fantastic Four film. And it'll kind of go from there. There are also rumors that Sam Raimi's very interested in directing a Fantastic Four film. As far as I'm aware, he might be coming back to Spider-Man, and particularly Spider-Man 4, and maybe even a Spider-Verse movie. But there are talks apparently internally at Marvel that involves Sam Raimi being somehow involved in Fantastic Four, which is again a really big project that's coming up for Marvel. There have been all sorts of rumors surrounding who might be cast. John Krasinski is someone that comes up all the time as Mr. Fantastic, and of course Emily Blunt as Susan Storm. So and those conversations seem to be ongoing. At the moment, I think John Krasinski is a bit more involved in A Quiet Place Part 2 and trying to get that back into cinemas. First off, but he seems as though he's finished with that, so he's probably got enough time now. Some good news, of course, finished a couple of months ago, which was a bit sad. I think he ended up selling that. But what do you guys think about this? Is this something that you're interested in? Are you looking forward to seeing Tobey Maguire come back as Spider-Man? Are you looking forward to seeing Doctor Strange 2? Let me know in the comments below. Right, moving on to Quicksilver. So it seems as though Quicksilver's involvement, and this is Aaron Taylor Johnson's version of the character, Quicksilver's involvement in the WandaVision series has possibly been leaked by Funko Pops. So Funko Pops, if you want leaks, Funko Pops is a very good place to kind of be involved in, and looking at kind of new the new Funko Pops they announce, and it's kind of, this comes from it's kind of a scoopster is that the best way, on Instagram, who seems to be very in the know as far as Funko Pops are concerned, and this guy called Serlant Pops, and they basically confirmed that there are going to be Vision and Quicksilver Funko Pops coming, and the Quicksilver picture there is of course Aaron Taylor Johnson's. So again, maybe take this with a pinch of salt, but as far as WandaVision's concerned, or WandaVision, this would make total sense, because it seems as though most of the series is going to be taking place in her own head, and basically if that's the case, then it would make sense for her brother Quicksilver to return and to have a bit of a chat with her. Maybe as a version of her subconscious, and that could be something. That could be quite interesting, I think. But there are also rumors that she's going to be very kind of heavily, well, not heavily involved, but involved in Doctor Strange 2, and that Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, will actually make an appearance at the end of this what is basically a mini-series. We still don't really know when this is coming out. Maybe because of the pandemic, things have been put on hold because they haven't been able to get Doctor Strange 2 as production on that as underway as quickly as they wanted to, which means that they're kind of having to put the brakes on that for a bit. So originally, I believe it was expected to be released towards the end of November, but we haven't heard any news on when that will be now. Which is, I mean, I hope it's still coming out towards the end of November. I believe that is the case, but it's also mainly the case with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that seems to have been pushed kind of indefinitely now, and that's probably got to do with Black Widow and that being constantly pushed back and back and back. But hopefully WandaVision will be coming out pretty soon, and it'll be pretty cool, I think, if we get Quicksilver in it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Right, moving on from that story and on to The Walking Dead's Lenny James. So Lenny James is he's one of my favourite actors, actually. I think he's brilliant. He's a British actor that's in The Walking Dead. And he was talking to a YouTube channel called The Nerd Guys, I believe they're called. Let me just get that up. Sorry about this. Where is the article? Right, great. It doesn't seem to be coming up. Right. Oh, here it is. Sorry. Right. So, according to the Nerds of Color, he was talking to them, and during this interview, which is actually really good, you should go and check it out on YouTube if you can. He basically opens up about wanting to play Daredevil. And his idea, he had a really good idea. He basically kind of pitched a Logan-like version of the character. So he said, I'm a bit long in the tooth to be playing Daredevil now. So they'd have to do a kind of Logan version of it, of Daredevil, at the end of his career. And as a grown man, not quite being able to bend his knees at the top of some skyscraper in Hell's Kitchen, and actually using the stick not just to find his way, but also to keep him standing. We might have to do that version of it. I've always loved Daredevil. So during that interview, he actually really opened up about his love of Marvel in general. So he's a big Marvel fan. And that I think I do like that idea, actually. I really do like that idea of him playing an older version of Daredevil. The problem is it won't happen. That's the problem, because I'm pretty sure that Kevin Feige wants to do his own take on the character, wants to bring him more into the MCU. They'll probably cast someone a bit younger as well, which is, again, a shame. But it seems to be the way they're going with most of these movies, and they're not really that interested in doing something akin to Logan, which, again, I've said this multiple times, is my favorite comic book of all time. I think Logan is brilliant. But what do you guys think? Would you guys like to see Lenny James play an older version of Daredevil in the MCU? Let me know in the comments below. Right, so moving away from all the comic book news and on to Free Guy. So, I'll be completely honest, full disclosure, I was aware of Alex Trebek, but I wasn't someone that watched Jeopardy. I didn't really know. What I really knew about him was from the SNL sketch involving Will Ferrell and the Jeopardy show, but of course it was revealed that he very sadly passed away, and he's someone that is very, very beloved in the United States. And he, of course, Jeopardy was a game show over there. But it seems as that he died after a battle with pancreatic cancer. And he died at the age of 80. And this was revealed, I believe, last week. It was revealed that he very sadly passed away. But Ryan Reynolds actually took to Twitter to reveal that Alex Trebek actually filmed a cameo for Free Guy last year. Despite his battle, he was gracious and funny, in addition to being curious, stalwart, generous, reassuring, and of course Canadian. So he's Canadian. We love you, Alex, and always will. So it looks like fans of Alex Trebek will be pretty interested in seeing this upcoming Free Guy movie, because he'll be in it, and they'll be pretty interested to see what his cameo will be. If Ryan Reynolds has something to do with it, it'll probably be hilarious. And I think that's quite a nice way for people to remember him. The film hopefully will be coming out next year. It was pushed from December. Hopefully, that's because of COVID, of course, but hopefully it will be coming out in 2021. And the fans of Alex Trebek will be able to see what he's doing. Right, so moving on from that and onto the next story, which is a Bloodshot sequel is in the works. This is something that I really didn't expect to see, but according to a lot of people, it looks like my stream is cutting out, which is just great. Right, moving on from that. Right, so yes, a Bloodshot sequel is in the works, apparently, with Vin Diesel expected to return. So this was reported by CBR.com, and they said that that yeah, it's happening. And this is actually quite interesting because the first Bloodshot movie was a bit of a casualty of one of the very first casualties of the pandemic, of the coronavirus pandemic. And it didn't do as well as it was expected to do. It was released on VOD, it was released online, and a lot of people saw it and a lot of people bought it, but it didn't do as well as it could have done if it was in cinemas. But despite that, it seems as though the studio is gung-ho, very DMG Entertainment. They're already starting work on a Bloodshot sequel, which I think is kind of crazy because I didn't think the first movie was particularly good. But according to CBR.com, Vin Diesel will be returning to play the lead role. And that's one of those things that I'm a bit like, really? They're really doing that? But you know what? I know for a fact that people did like the first film. And there's definitely a lot of love out there for Vin Diesel. So you know what? If it does well, then that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. You can kind of tell that I'm a bit like on that story. I think it's fine. But moving away from that and on to something that I'm much more excited about, which is Netflix officially renewing the Umbrella Academy for season 3. This was revealed today by Netflix, and they revealed that the whole cast is set to come back, and that includes Ellen Page, Tom Hooper, David Castanda, Emmy Raver Lampum, Robert Sheehan, Aidan Gallagher, Justin H. Min, Ritu Arya, and Colm Ferrore. And sorry, I probably butchered all those names. Steve Blackman is also coming back. He, of course, is was the showrunner. He was the showrunner on Fargo and Altered Carbon, and he'll be also the executive producer. So basically, everybody's coming back for this. This is something that we did break a couple of months back. So it's nice. It's just nice to have a scoop confirmed. But I just wanted to put that in towards the end of the live stream. I think it's good news. But let's end on a bit of Mandalorian news, and basically, this is a show now that I am very, very much drawn into. I think it's getting better and better and better, and it looks like the next episode is going to be very interesting indeed, as the plot synopsis was dropped on IMDb. And the plot synopsis was, the Mandalorian braves high seas and meets unexpected allies. So who are these unexpected allies? It seems as though Mando's going to get new friends in this upcoming episode. But also, braves high seas was something that I was really interested in. And I was thinking, could this mean that he's going to be on a water planet? And a very famous water planet in the Star Wars universe is, of course, Kamino. And who comes from there? Boba Fett. Boba Fett is a clone of Jango Fett, and of course he was made on Kamino. So I think it's probably going to happen there, and I wonder whether he might meet unexpected allies in the form of some former clones. So could this mean Rex is in this episode? It would be interesting if he went back to Kamino. It's something that I'm very much looking forward to. I can't remember when it's being released, but it's not too far off now, I believe. Maybe it's Friday it's coming out. But it's an episode that I'm really, really looking forward to. I'm really loving this show. You can go and check out the review of episode 2 on small screen right now. I just stated that I was a big fan of it, and it's very Alien inspired, which I loved. And with that, I will say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching this live stream. I'm sorry if it's been a bit glitchy today for internet issues. But you can follow us everywhere on social media at SmallScreenGB. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also follow me at EJ Lauder on Twitter. If you don't like watching glitchy videos on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, you can also, basically listen to this as a podcast. It's called Small Screen Stories. You can find that wherever you get your podcasts. But if you do listen on Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star review. That'd be wonderful. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, like the page, like the video.